The 1979 D error, Susan B. Anthony dollar. Imagine holding a coin in your hand, a small piece of copper nickel that most people would think is just another ordinary dollar. They'd spend it at the store, toss it in the change jar, maybe even let it roll around in the bottom of a drawer for years. But what if I told you that there's one version of this very coin that could be worth not just a few bucks, not just a few hundred, but an absolutely jaw-dropping $55,000, $70,000, or even up to $85,000? Yes, you heard that right. One single coin in your pocket change could be worth more than a luxury car, more than some people's yearly salary, maybe even more than your first house cost back in the day. This is not some coin collecting fairy tale. This is the story of the 1979 D error Susan B. Anthony dollar, one of the rarest, most elusive, and most valuable modern U.S. coins ever struck. And let me warn you right now, by the time we're done, you'll be double-checking every dollar coin you ever come across, because the difference between a regular dollar and this ultra-rare error can mean tens of thousands of dollars in your bank account. Now, before we dive into exactly what makes this coin so special, we need to rewind to the late 1970s. Picture it, the United States Mint is gearing up to launch the very first small-sized dollar coin in U.S. history. For over 40 years, the only dollar coin in circulation had been the big, heavy Eisenhower dollar, a coin that, while impressive, was bulky and not very popular in everyday transactions. People wanted something more practical, something that could replace the paper $1 bill and fit more comfortably in your pocket. Enter the Susan B. Anthony dollar, introduced in 1979, named after the legendary women's rights activist. The coin's design was bold and symbolic, Anthony's portrait on the obverse, the Apollo 11 moon landing insignia on the reverse. It was the first U.S. coin to feature an actual woman in honor of her historic fight for equality. The Mint struck these coins at several facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The 1979 D was struck at the Denver Mint, marked by the small d mint mark. Millions were produced, but among them, a tiny fraction came out wrong in a way that would one day make them worth a fortune. Now, here's the twist. When we say error, we're not talking about a simple scratch or somewhere from circulation. No, we're talking about a dramatic, unusual, and extremely rare striking mistake that only happened to a few coins. Some of the most valuable 1979 D error Susan B. Anthony dollars are known as off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned, leaving part of the coin blank. Others are double-struck, meaning the coin was struck twice by the dies in slightly different positions, creating a doubled image that collectors go wild for. And then there are the truly bizarre errors, coins struck on the wrong plankets, such as a nickel or quarter planchet, or even a foreign coin blank. These mistakes create coins that look unlike anything else in circulation, and that's where the big money comes in. The rarest of them all is the 1979 de Susan B. Anthony dollar, struck on a different metal planchet entirely. Imagine a dollar-sized coin that's the wrong weight, the wrong color, or the wrong thickness, yet still bears the Anthony design. These are so scarce that in high-grade mint condition, they have sold for absolutely staggering amounts at auction. And we're talking numbers that would make anyone's jaw drop: $55,000, $70,000, and yes, in some cases, even $85,000 for the most pristine and dramatic error examples. Let's put that into perspective for a moment. Someone out there might have one of these sitting in an old coin jar, completely unaware of what it is. They might take it to the bank or use it in a vending machine. That's like throwing away a pile of cash without knowing it, and it happens more often than you think. The reason for such sky-high values comes down to two things: rarity and demand. Modern coins are mass-produced in the millions, so most of them are practically worthless beyond face value. But when a mint error slips through quality control and survives in pristine condition, it becomes a once-in-a-lifetime find for collectors. And because Susan B. Anthony dollars were already produced for a very short time, only from 1979 to 1981, and then briefly in 1999, the demand for rare varieties is even stronger. When collectors look for these coins, they pay attention to a few key features. First is the type of error. The more dramatic and unusual, the better. A coin that's just slightly misaligned might fetch a few $100s, but one that struck 40% or more off-center could reach into the thousands. Second is the condition. A coin in heavily circulated shape might still be worth a decent sum, but those in mint state grades, especially MS65 or higher, are where the record-breaking prices happen. And third, any error involving the wrong planchette or a double strike tends to multiply its value several times over. Another fascinating detail about the 1979D is the mintmark style. That year, some coins had a slightly different shape or position of the D mintmark, subtle differences that specialists can spot immediately. While this alone won't necessarily make the coin worth tens of thousands, when combined with a rare striking error, it can push the price into the stratosphere. Auction history proves the point. In one famous sale, a spectacular 1979 de Susan B. Anthony dollar struck on a Sakagawa golden dollar planchette, an astonishing mint blunder, sold for over $70,000. Another example with a dramatic double strike and flawless surfaces reached $55,000. And in the most mind-blowing cases, rare off-metal strikes with perfect grading have edged into the $80,000 plus range. Now imagine the thrill of finding one of these in the wild. Picture yourself sifting through a stack of coins from the bank, when suddenly, one catches your eye. Maybe the color is different, maybe the design looks strangely doubled, or maybe part of the coin is blank. Your heart starts racing. You grab a magnifying glass. And there it is, a possible 1979D error that could change your financial situation in an instant. That's the excitement of coin collecting, the possibility that hidden treasure is sitting right there in your hands. But here's the important thing: if you think you found one of these, don't just toss it in a drawer. Handle it carefully, preferably with cotton gloves, and never clean it. Cleaning can destroy the coin's surfaces and dramatically reduce its value. Your next step should be to have it authenticated and graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. They'll confirm the type of error, determine the grade, and give you a certified holder that protects the coin and proves its legitimacy to buyers. For collectors who already own one, these coins aren't just monetary assets, they're historical artifacts. They tell the story of the U.S. Mint's production process, human error, and the unpredictable ways coins can become legendary. And unlike many collectibles, rare coins tend to hold their value well over time, especially when they're as scarce as the top-tier 1979 de Susan B. Anthony dollar errors. The beauty of this coin is that it represents a turning point in U.S. currency history. The Susan B. Anthony dollar was a bold move, the first small-sized dollar, the first to honor a real woman, and one of the shortest-lived coin series in modern times. While the general public didn't embrace it for everyday spending, collectors have ensured its place in history. And the rare Denver minted error coins, they've taken on a life of their own, becoming holy grails for numismatists around the world. It's not just about owning a coin worth tens of thousands of dollars. It's about the chase, the thrill of discovery, the careful study of mintmarks and strike characteristics, the hope that your next bankroll search might reveal a treasure. Every collector dreams of that moment, and for the lucky few who found a 1979D error worth $55,000, $70,000, or even $85,000, it's a dream come true. So the next time you get a Susan B. Anthony dollar in your change, don't dismiss it as pocket change from the past. Flip it over. Look closely, check the mintmark, examine the strike. You might just be holding one of the rarest modern U.S. coins ever minted, a coin that could take you from just another day to the day everything changed. And if that happens, well, you'll have joined a very small, very lucky club of collectors who turned a single coin into a life-changing windfall. And that, my friends, is why the 1979D error Susan B. Anthony dollar will forever hold a place as one of the most exciting and valuable finds in American coin history.